And I was like, yeah, this is weird. Like, I'm not running that fast. My heart rate's at 200. Like, it didn't feel safe. They told me in my case, just not talking for you, that in my case, if my heart goes to 200 to 205, I'm absolutely fine. I'm fine. Nothing's going to happen. Like, not if I'm sitting, like if I'm doing an effort. So it took me a lot of like hearing that again and again and again and again. So if you've just had surgery and you're like, whatever, regardless of like whether you're really into exercising and stuff or not, and pushing your heart to like the next level, I think that rehab would be beneficial to you. But if you are into like competitions and that kind of stuff, for me, it made a huge difference to feel confident in my body again and to trust my heart. Like, not like trust your heart, like, you know, physically trust it to like keep pumping. I haven't had any symptoms since, like no heart flutter, weird things, nothing at all. I mean, maybe like in the past, okay, it's been 7 years, like I can't think of like twice, but just like things that happen like, you know, for 1 minute of your life and then it didn't happen again, which I think can happen to anyone, especially if like they have stressful conditions and stuff. So I don't think it was necessarily linked. Yeah, no, physically that's good. And then yeah, moved back to Geneva, Switzerland, and been racing, been becoming a fitness coach. Yeah, life's been really good, and especially the past year, life's been good. Life's been also hard for other reasons, but the past year has been really, really good. And yeah, I guess I can get into now like the mental part of it. Before I say that, I do want to say one more thing. In the previous videos that I made, I was just learning about PAPVR. Like, I literally had just learned about it, and I was trying to gather the research and the information that was available online at that point, which was really not a lot. And they did not have much information at all about like survival rates for this kind of surgery, and it was terrifying. So let me tell you what I've learned since then. This is information I did not have at the time, which actually goes into why I had a hard time mentally. I actually don't have the current data, okay? This is for 30 years ago, so if anything, it'll be better than... Sorry, this is for when I was 30, which was 7 years ago. So if anything, it'll be better now. Because advancements in technology and that kind of stuff. At the time, this was classified as, I can't remember how they classify it. I think there's like 4 different types. I might have said this in another video because I can't remember. I didn't watch all the videos that I made, but I watched a few today. There's like, I think 4 different categories of heart surgery. Number 4 is like the absolute hardest, like super dangerous to do. Ours for PAPVR and ASD is a category 1. So it's the easiest. I mean, like, it's still open heart surgery. It's not like you're not going from somewhere else. I know I've been reading in like the support group that I started, the Facebook one, that there are different ways of doing it now, but the main way still remains open heart surgery. Because I really do think that it depends on like what exactly you have and where your veins are and size and all of that, I assume. So 99% success rate for open heart surgery on what we have. I used to think that, because there was no information about this, I used to think that 99% success rate meant that 1 out of every 100 people who has the surgery dies. That's not the case. Let me make a face so you remember. That's not the case. Not successful means like maybe it didn't work right. You have like arrhythmia, where your heart rate's not at the normal thing. Maybe like you have tachycardia, like where your heart doesn't react normally, or maybe you don't have the quality of life that you wanted. It doesn't mean death. Like, yeah, it includes that probably, but it does not include it also includes like the much more likely thing, which is everything else but death. So listen, I don't ever want to go through that shit again, but if I did, I would be much more fucking zen doing it now, knowing what I know today. And I would still choose Dr. Romano. She was amazing at Mott's Children's Hospital. God, yeah. Thank God for her. Okay, we can get into the emotional part of it now. Why did I wait 7 years to talk about it? Nothing to do with physical things. I am fine. I am fine. But that whole experience was the most traumatic thing that I've ever been through in my entire life. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. I wasn't able to talk about the surgery for a long time afterwards. At least not without like openly bawling and having like a physical reaction. I say this and I mean it every single time that I say this. If I hadn't had a daughter who was 1 year, she's 8 now. She was 1 at the time. If I had not had a 1-year-old daughter, I think I would have been able to manage it much better. I was obviously terrified of the worst case scenario, which was leaving my daughter with no mom. And that fear ate me alive. That fear ate me alive. It was rough. It was rough. Yeah. I didn't know that I was gonna make it, you know? I didn't know, you know? I wouldn't have that same level of fear today. I would be fearful for that, for sure, because I'm a human, right? But it wouldn't like eat me alive to the extent that it did back then. And I actually had a very difficult time mentally getting past the fear and being like, you're okay now, you're safe now, and being able to feel safe, right? I just was afraid that something else was gonna happen, or I didn't like trust that it was really over once I was on the other side. The fear from whatever it was, like November 2017 to January 23rd, 2018. It was just like 1.5 months, right? Ish. 2 months. Less than 2 months. Those weeks of fear affected me for years. And that's why I couldn't talk about it and make a video about it, because I literally could not talk about it. I could not talk about it. There was nothing scary like once I was on the other side. The fear and the memory of like the state that I was in before is what really got to me. So my advice to you is therapy. Because this is traumatic, you know? This is traumatic. It's a physical trauma, and it's one of the biggest emotional traumas you're gonna go through, you know? So I'm feeling for like who I was back then, because like, you know, I when I look at the videos, like I actually seem pretty composed in them, but whew, I was struggling. I was really, really struggling. I mean, I say that in the videos, I think, but you don't see that on my face in the videos, I don't think. Yeah. What else do I want to say? Yeah, to just I truly think that therapy is important. You can do it during also, but definitely do it after. I think for me during, I was just like in survival mode, like find the right surgeon. No. So yeah, it it took me a while to sleep okay. It took me a while to sleep through the nights, like a while. It took me a while to feel okay in my body. It took a while for my nervous system to cool down and to be like, you're safe now. You're safe. You're gonna be around for a long time. You know? So yeah, gosh. It was also even hard for me at the time to support people in the support group. I can do it now and I'm happy to do it now, but at the time, it was actually hard for me to support people in the support group because it brought me right back to where I was, and the fear of like not knowing and not being able to fast forward, you know? I had so much fear. Present day Christelle, if I had to do the surgery again, would I do it again? Absolutely. Without a doubt. It has added decades to my life. My PAPVR was really bad. It definitely added decades to my life. And I would feel confident about it. I mean, like, not 100% because it's still me. I'm still Christelle. But I would feel confident about my decision that it's healthcare that I need to extend my life. Absolutely. And if you're about to go through this, if you're about to go through open heart surgery, first of all, please join the group. We're here to support you. There's a lot of people who have been through this, and you can send messages to them, to me. And yeah, I mean, if you talk to people like who are in the group, and I think it's really helpful, that's why I wanted to start the group, because I'm just one example, right? There's like so many examples of people who are, oh, I didn't even talk about this. Well, who are doing well after the surgery. Like, I didn't talk about this, but every year on my, oh, this might freak you out a little bit, but it is part of the process, and you're going to learn about it in the group anyways from other people talking about it. Okay, I will say two things, though, about it. So every year on my heart anniversary, or heartiversary, as we like to call it, I run 56 minutes to represent the 56 minutes that my heart was stopped for the surgery. I know that sounds scary. Deep breath. Because listen to this. I'm going to look straight into the camera when I'm saying this. You know, in those movies where it's like, we can't start the heart again, like it won't work, the machines won't start the heart again. Fiction. Bullshit. The heart always starts again. I heard it from my surgeon, and the moment that he said that, I was like, whew. So you heard it from me. The heart always starts again. The only issues you might have is like, oh, the heart's going too fast, oh, the heart's going too slow, and it'll figure itself out. It will start again. It always starts again. It's a non-thing. It doesn't exist that like you stop it and then it doesn't start. It starts. It always starts. Okay? Because that was a fear of mine, so I'm just making it super clear, and I'm still looking at the camera while I'm saying this. It starts again. Okay? So get that fear. That fear, you can bust it. Gone. Done. Okay? It's cute to see how different people celebrate their heart anniversaries. And as I said, I have more energy now. My life's going to be much longer now. And my quality of life is better. I don't need to sleep enough. I don't need to sleep as much. I get enough sleep. And yeah. There's every reason for your open heart surgery to go well. And I'm sorry that you have to go through this because it's scary. But there's every reason for it to go well. So if I'm leaving on one note, I want to leave on that note, okay? You've got this. Sending so much love your way. And yeah. Sorry it took me 7 years to make an update.